What if Gabi stopped Eren before the rumbling began? What if Zeke's plan actually worked? Or what if Eren rewrote the entire world so Marlians were the ones trapped behind the walls? These aren't just fan theories, these are alternate timelines buried deep within the paths. The good, the bad, the ones you were never meant to see. Today, we're unlocking every ending of Attack on Titan, every route, every branch, every fate. And the final one might change how you see the entire story. Canon Ending. In the real ending, Eren chooses destruction, but not total extinction. He starts the rumbling, wipes out most of the world, but Mikasa stops him before he finishes the job. The Titans vanish, peace sort of returns, but it's shaky. The world still fears Eldians. Paradise rearms, the war didn't end, it just paused. Years later, the tree where Eren is buried stands alone, surrounded by rubble. This was the ending we got, and depending on how you see it, it might have been the best case scenario. The world barely avoided extinction, but there was another path. One where extinction was never even necessary. Path to peace. The good ending. Let's say Eren doesn't go through with the rumbling, not because he suddenly grows a conscience, but because Armin finally gets through to him, inside the path. He shows Eren what he used to be, what they used to dream about, a world beyond the walls. Mikasa's words make him pause, just long enough. Eren doesn't erase the Titans outright. He instead uses the fallen Titans' power as a threat instead of a weapon. He gives the world a choice, peace or extinction. The world listens. Negotiations begin. It's fragile, but it holds. Eventually, Eren fulfills his promise. The Titans vanish, the curse ends. Named characters who survive include Hanji, Jean, Connie, and Annie. They help build the new era, one without walls and monsters. It's not perfect, but it's the closest thing to peace this world will ever get. Eren lives long enough to see it happen. But in another branch, there was no pause, no mercy, only footsteps and thunder. Ending 2. Rumbling complete. The bad ending. This time, no one stops Eren. Armin doesn't reach him in time. Mikasa never gets a chance to say anything. And Eren? He finishes what he started. The rumbling goes all the way. Every nation, every outpost, gone. There is no 80% cut off. It's everyone. Total destruction. But as the final wave of Titans approaches the last untouched coastline, something reaches him. A final memory. A signal. Flock and the surviving Jaegers found out Mikasa was going to stop him. Maybe talk him down, maybe kill him if she had to. They ambush Mikasa before she can confront Eren. She's killed, branded a traitor to Elia. Armin is fatally wounded, Levi taken out of the fight. And Eren learns this at the exact moment the last city falls. He finishes the rumbling, but this time he doesn't stop there. His entire purpose was to save the people he loved. If he lost Mikasa, then what's left to protect? What's left to build for? The people he took on this path for were killed by the people who claimed to follow his path. In a moment of blind rage, Eren turned the Titans around. He points them towards Paradise. The Jaegers celebrate, thinking they've secured a future. Civilians wait for their liberator, but all they get is silence. And then, thunder. Paradise burns. The island is flattened just like the rest of the world. There are no survivors, no victors. Not out of strategy, not even out of vengeance. Just grief. Just the collapse of everything. When it's over, there's nothing left. No Titans, no humans, no nations. Just scorched earth. Endless footsteps and silence. This isn't the end of war, because it's the end of the world. And sometimes the world doesn't end in fire, it just disappears. Quietly. Because one person made a decision they thought was merciful. Zeke's euthanization succeeds. This is the one ending where nobody dies in fire, because they never get the chance to. Inside of the path, Eren pretends to go along with Zeke's plan, but this time, Zeke is prepared. He sees through the bluffs, and seizes full control of the Founding Titan before Eren can stop him. Zeke activates the plan, quietly, instantly. Every Eldian around the world loses the ability to have children. At first, no one notices, but within a few years, the truth sets in. There's no new Eldian birth, no shifters, no lineage. The bloodline is gone. Some nations see it as a peaceful solution. No war, no titans. The problem disappears. But in Paradise, it's a collapse. Families fall apart. Generations are the last by default. There's mourning, protests, and even riots. Armin and Mikasa clash. Armin defends it quietly, saying, maybe it's the better way. No one else suffers. But Mikasa refuses. She calls it what it is. Genocide with clean hands. Eren tries to undo it. He digs through the paths, desperate for a way back in. But Zeke locks him out permanently. Zeke's final words echo through the void. I told you, this was the only way. Jean and Connie grow old watching their communities fade. Annie disappears entirely, choosing isolation over extinction. Eldian heritage is banned in some countries. Elsewhere, it's erased quietly. History books rewritten, monuments dismantled. Armin, in an effort to keep the peace, participates in a neutral retelling of Eldian history. One that downplays the suffering. One that keeps things calm. Eren watches all, powerless, a bystander to the undoing of his people. He doesn't die, but the world he wanted to change forgets he ever tried. Historia's child becomes a symbol of nothing, a name with no weight, the last of a people erased in real time. It's not just the end of the Eldians, it's the erasure of their memory, while the rest of the world moves on like they never existed. But not every version of this story ends quietly. In the next timeline, the bullet comes first, and the war never even began. Gabi fires early. Eren dies before reaching the Zeke. No rumbling, no coordinate. It's over before anything began. The world hails her as a hero. Marley makes her a symbol, but Paradise loses everything. Without Eren's power, Marley invades. Paradise falls within the year. The alliance is outmatched. Mikasa is executed. The curse continues. Gabi writes a memoir, The Shot That Saved the World. But in the final pages, she wonders, did she stop a monster, or just restart the same nightmare? This wasn't peace, it was a pause. But what if Eren didn't die, and didn't destroy the world either? What if he rewrote it, so that they had to live his nightmare? This ending assumes that Eren unlocks a new, evolved form of the Fallen Titan's power, granting memory control beyond the Eldians. It's a stretch, but makes for a compelling what if. This timeline splits just as Eren and Zeke make contact in the path, the moment Eren gains full access to the Fallen Titan's power. In the canon timeline, Eren uses that power to set the rumbling in motion. But in this version, he chooses something else, something colder. Taps into the memory-altering abilities hidden deep in the coordinate, the same power that once erased the memories of everyone in Paradise. He erases the memories of Marleyan leadership, their soldiers, their citizens. Then he relocates them, displacing them into a walled island city with no memory of where they came from or what they once ruled. 3 massive walls, titans roaming outside, whispers of monsters beyond the gates. Sound familiar? Inside, the Marleyans live cautiously. They farm, ration supplies, and pass down stories of an outside world too dangerous to explore. To them, this is how it's always been. Outside the walls, the Eldians live free. They watch, they remember, and that's the real tension. Because while the Marleyans fear the world beyond, the Eldians debate among themselves. They did this to us for generations. Is this justice? Or are we becoming what we hated? Flock says this is a balance. Armin says it's revenge dressed as an order. Mikasa says nothing at all. Some want to maintain control, others want to break the cycle. But Eren walks through the land silently. No throne, no declaration, just watching. And as he stands near the coastline looking toward the walled island, he finally says, "Now they understand." And after all the endings, peace, war, revenge, there's still one final path. The one where nothing ever mattered, because it already happened before. The time loop. The final timeline doesn't start with a choice, it starts with silence. Eren is dead, the Titans are gone, Mikasa buries his head beneath the tree, and the world begins to rebuild. Paradise prepares for war. The world fears them anyway. But just as everything settles, something breaks. Inside the paths, Eren opens his eyes again, and this time it's different. He's not alone. He sees himself. Not one or two versions, hundreds. Each one from a different branch of time. Each one made a different choice. Each one failed. One tried peace. One completed the rumbling. One gave up his power. One sacrificed Armin. One trusted Zeke. But none of them worked. In every timeline, something breaks. The result is always the same. The world resets. This Eren remembers all of them. He realizes Mikasa's role changes everything. Sometimes she kills him too soon, sometimes too late. Sometimes she never leaves. Sometimes she never meets him at all. Armin senses it too. Vague dreams, conversations that feel rehearsed. A map of a world he shouldn't know, but does. Jean sometimes remembers things he never lived. Historia cries for no reason. Zeke dies in every loop, unaware that he was never the key. But for the first time, Eren doesn't choose war or peace. He chooses to stop. No rumbling, no final fight, no resistance. He walks to the tree and sits beneath it, and not in victory, not in defeat, just silence. And then a heartbeat, a breath. First person view looking up through tree branches, sunlight flickering between the leaves. The same view we saw in the very first episode. Eren wakes up, and everything begins again. 6 endings, 6 different worlds. Some gave closure, some erased everything. Peace, destruction, control, failure, and one endless loop. But which one felt right to you? And if you were Eren, which path would you choose? And if you liked seeing great stories go sideways, I just broke down the worst season of every popular anime, the turning points where the things fell apart. Tap here to find out which series dropped the ball and why.